guys, today we're gonna go over some mindset shifts that I have made that has made a difference in my business and just my life in general. So before we get into it, I do wanna say that I know that these shifts are not easy to make overnight. They're not easy to make in general, but I do think if certain things are meant to be, that these things will start resonating with you. In 2021, I just had multiple mindset shifts. And they pretty much happen naturally, and as cheesy as it sounds, I spend a lot of time listening to like motivational speeches on YouTube and things like that, and I spend a lot of time listening to other YouTube videos, like hearing personal stories about them going full-time with their business and being like, well, if they can do it, why can't I? And that really set my mind up to make some of these changes, and they just happened over time, definitely not overnight. Okay, the first shift I made was I tried to quit looking at things as not possible. So I never thought I would be able to go full-time with photography. I always thought that I would have to be working full-time at another job and that I could only be able to do this on the side. And if you would have told me a year ago that I would be full-time right now, I would be like, are you serious right now? Like, probably not, you're wrong. And that's one of the main mindset shifts that I made last year. I quit telling myself that I'll never be able to do it, never be able to do it. And I wish I could say that I came up with that conclusion all on my own, like told myself, oh yeah, I can do it, and I just went and did it. But there was external factors, like I said a couple minutes ago. I listened to people on YouTube who went full-time with their business, and I kind of heard how they did it. Or I would be at a wedding, and if I was doing video, I would be talking to the photographer or something. And if they said that they were full-time with photography, I would kind of ask them about it. And then there's some other photography groups on Facebook for photographers, and I would read other people's stories on there. They would post saying that they were about to go full-time and quit their full-time job, and I'm like, if all of these people out there can do this, why can't I? And I was like, I totally can. So then after I realized that, I was like, okay, I am going to get my butt in gear and really figure out how to do this. And I'll probably make another video of my story about how I went full-time and how it led up to that and things like that. But otherwise, I'm also thankful that I had a supportive husband who was all for me going full-time, thankfully. I know everybody doesn't have that support, so I do feel very lucky in that department. So just one more thing on this is I also always try to problem solve my situation. So if I think of something that I want to achieve or I want to do, I don't immediately be like, I can't do that. So no matter what it is, I always at least try to think of some ways that I can possibly achieve it, or steps that I could take to potentially get to that point on whatever goal it is. So my second mindset shift was making myself step out of my comfort zone. I mean, probably just like a majority of people, I don't like leaving my comfort zone. I'm not a huge risk taker. I mean, just conjuring up a conversation with someone is already stepping out of my comfort zone. So, so a big thing that I overcame last year in regards to stepping out of my comfort zone was traveling by myself. I was traveling for elopements and other shoots. It was a big thing to overcome, like flying literally across the country by myself. But I did it because I want it so bad that I'm like, I am not gonna let my fears and things like that stop me from what I'm wanting to achieve. Another thing that I did that was pretty huge was just quitting my full-time job. That was so scary and nerve-wracking because I just kept thinking of like worst case scenario, losing that steady paycheck, and that was huge for me to do and very scary. There's probably a lot more things that I could probably list off and ramble on about, but I'm trying to keep these pretty broad so we can move on to the next one. So the third thing that I realized, and I've always known, but I started thinking about it a lot more last year, was who you surround yourself with is a big deal and can play a part on your mindset and your actions. And this may be an obvious one for some people, but if you really do take a step back and really think about The people that you surround yourself with, do they primarily make you feel good, feel happy, lift you up, even unintentionally lift you up? I'm not saying that you have to surround your people who's constantly giving you compliments and all that kind of thing. But when you hang out with them, or when you're around them, or even when you think about them, is it good thoughts? Is it positive thoughts? Or do you find yourself constantly complaining about that person? Or when you think about them, do you just think about how maybe they make you feel in a bad mood when you leave? Or if they put you down? You know, the list goes on. And last year, I really took a step back and thought about each person that I surround myself with and what kind of energy I got from them. If when I was around them, or, you know, when I would leave from them, if I felt like, wow, you know, when I'm around them, I'm more annoyed and on edge and feeling down than I am feeling happy and alive when I leave. Or when they call you and you're in a good mood, do you find yourself being like, I don't know if I want to answer that because I'm in a good mood, and I just know if I answer it, they're probably going to bring me down with whatever they're about to say. You just really need to pay attention to those things and try to find people to surround yourself with a similar mindset, similar goals, and that'll really help you. And I know there's certain situations that, you know, just because maybe you have a really good friend and they do annoy you a lot or something like that, it doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life. But I feel like this situation, you do have to use a little bit of common sense and do realize when a situation isn't the healthiest for you. Okay, so my points with this one were kind of here, there, and everywhere. But the main thing I'm trying to get across is try to surround yourself with people who are for you and not against you or causing more drama and stress in your life than you need. Okay, so my next thing is that you cannot just sit around and wait for opportunities and things to come your way if you are putting in zero effort and work for those things to come your way. So for this one, I do know that sometimes opportunities really do just fall into your lap. I'm not sure if I ever really had this mindset, but I know this is kind of a common mindset where people are like, okay, I created my page. And now I'm just gonna sit and wait for customers to come and put in zero work. And I also know that you can work your butt off and try as hard as you can, and you know, things still may not go exactly your way. My business is nowhere near where I want it to be right now, but it's way further along than it was last year, and hopefully a year from today it'll be even further along. So for this point, I don't have too much to say about it. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so my next one is self-awareness. So this is something that I've really been trying to work on in the past year. I think it's really good to at least try to be more aware of your actions, like why are you behaving this way? Why are you feeling a certain way? And I know self-awareness goes way more in depth than just that, but I think that's a good way to get started. Just kind of trying to realize, okay, what factors is making me feel this way? What factors is making me behave this way to this person? Or why am I having these thoughts that I can't achieve something, or things like that? But just those things are good things to work on when you're trying to focus on yourself and your business and your mindset. My next point is take chances. So this kind of goes hand in hand with stepping out of your comfort zone. But I feel like taking chances plays a huge part in your success. When I take chances, even when I don't have the outcome that I was wanting, I still feel good that I tried it, I experienced it, and at least I tried. And then sometimes the chances that you take do pay off in a really great way, and you'll be happy you did it. I know it's a really typical thing to say, but if you don't take chances, you're never gonna know what the payoff could have been. It could have been something great. Okay, so those were just some really broad points that I was just thinking about today that I thought might be a good video. And hopefully you will inspire someone to step out of their comfort zone, take chances, and try to kind of change your negative mindset into gradually a more positive one. It just overall helps your quality of life, it helps your decisions. It just helps so much, just changing a few mindset shifts.